Our planet is working on borrowed time. With the passing of each day, the world is on the brink of reaching a critical climate threshold, breaching a critical climate threshold. I'm talking about keeping our global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. According to a new study that used artificial intelligence to predict the warming timeline, time is running exceedingly short to spare the world from the most catastrophic effects of global heating. Researchers at Stanford University and Colorado State University found that 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming over industrial levels will probably be crossed in the next decade. The study also shows our planet is on track to exceed the 2 degrees Celsius warming, which international scientists identified as a tipping point, with a 50% chance the grave benchmark would be met by mid-century. But how did the scientists manage to conduct the study? Let me explain it to you. Utilizing a network or a type of AI that recognizes relationships in vast sets of data, the scientists trained the system to analyze a wide array of global climate model simulations, and then it was asked to determine timelines for given temperature thresholds. The model found a nearly 70% chance that the 2-degree threshold would be crossed between 2044 and 2065, even if emissions rapidly decline. Moreover, to check the AI's prediction prowess, they also entered historical measurements to evaluate the current levels of heating that have already been noted. Using data from 1980 to 2021, the AI passed the test. Correctly homing in on both the 1.1 degrees Celsius warming reached by 2022 and the patterns and pace observed in recent decades. The two temperature benchmarks outlined as crisis points by the United Nations Paris Agreement produce vastly different outcomes around the world. The landmark pact, signed by nearly 200 countries, pledged to keep heating well below 2 degrees and recognized that aiming for 1.5 would significantly reduce the risks and the impact of climate change. Half a degree of heating may not seem like a lot, but the increased impact is exponential, intensifying a broad scale of consequences for ecosystems around the world and the people, plants and animals that depend on them. Just a fraction of a degree of warming would increase the number of summers. The Arctic would be ice-free tenfold, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a global group of scientists founded to assess climate change science for the United Nations. The difference between 1.5 degrees Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius will also result in twice the amount of lost habitat for plants and 3 times the amount for insects. The change will also fuel a dangerous rise in disasters. A warmer world will deliver droughts and deluges and produce more firestorms and floods. Scorching heat waves will become more severe and more common, occurring 5.6 times more often at the 2 degrees Celsius benchmark. Climate scientists have long been warning of the near inevitability of crossing 1.5 degrees Celsius, but by offering a new way of predicting the key windows, the study has made an even more urgent case for curbing emissions and adapting to the effects that are already beginning to unfold. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.